Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Deadline stream. YouTube and Twitch. Celtic JC. Shen on Twitch. Welcome to the stream. Over on YouTube, we have a bunch of people. Say hi. You're on stream. You're visible. People can see you. I'm so sorry I'm late. I've not had time to eat either, so I am going to be eating during this. So if you can't handle eating noises from time to time, maybe click off. But I'll try my best. Ferrari shirt is a dangerous thing. I am well aware. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Celtic could only make it because I have COVID and can't work. COVID in 2025? I thought that was ancient history. That's like getting the plague in 2016. Like, come on. Get with the times. COVID is out. I'll try to not make too many munching noises, but I'm super hungry. I haven't eaten. I literally got home 7 minutes ago. What are you eating? Some mashed potatoes. And some meat and sauce. It's good. We have some things to discuss today. I'm very happy I didn't make my final thoughts video after FP1 and FP2. Also, I'm so sorry I didn't stream FP1 and FP2 yesterday. I was supposed to. I slept the entire day. I had one day off. I worked Monday through Thursday. And then I worked today as well. I literally woke up at like 10 a.m. 30 minutes before FP1 started. Was supposed to get up and get ready. And just fell back asleep and woke up 5 hours later. So, this is lunch for me. It's midday. But, I mean, that's just what happens. Good day from Australia. Good day, Jazz Q. Claudio, hello, hello. Good morning, all. Good evening if you're Australian. I did miss a lot of wall scraping. I've not seen FP3. I've just skimmed at the results on my way home. Vert's benched in FPL. Classic. Alright, so while I munch away, we have some things to discuss. Again, I'm happy I didn't make my final thoughts video after yesterday. I would have said, everyone, get Ferrari. And now I'm like, do I need to get Ferrari? Can't I just stick with triple McLaren, call it a day? Are we getting Sims after FP3? I have no idea, JC. I haven't seen anything. If anyone knows, as always, please tell me. I can't keep an eye on Discord at all times. Is keeping Williams a good option? Probably not, but I feel confident with triple McLaren, so I'm hoping they can pull through. If not Ferrari, thoughts on RB? I think it's tight, man. The slipstream can make or break a lap, 100%. If not Ferrari, thoughts on RB? Again, RB Williams, it's kind of the same to me, if I'm honest. Kind of like what Claudio said, is like a single slipstream can completely turn around a otherwise mediocre car into having a great lap. Can I check your previous chat? Yes. Piastri declared McLaren Ferrari with both Alpine drivers for a -10. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think it's a good team. You probably outscore me. But you're also kind of stuck with both Alpine drivers for a while. Unless you downgrade something in the future. I guess it depends on how well you think Ferrari are going to do, huh? Ferrari do have a good top speed, so if they qualify badly, maybe they can gain positions. I think sticking it with Williams McLaren doesn't sound too bad. I agree. I think I'm doing this. Calling it a day. I feel pretty calm, actually. Yesterday I was panicking. I was like, I need to get Ferrari and I need to get Ferrari in. Now I'm like, doesn't matter. How would I rank Behrman, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Lawson this week? I need to remind myself what they look like here. Alright, what do we have here? I want to see required points. Okay, Hadjar is obviously the best. But I don't think... I mean, Behrman is good budget-wise. I don't think Behrman is necessarily the second best option. Just because of his price. I do think probably Bortoleto is above. And Lawson. But Hadjar is clear best. It's not even close. So what was the question? Behrman, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Lawson. It's Hadjar, and then it's like, I mean, Bortoleto, Behrman, Lawson are all very, very even. I think I slightly prefer Behrman, especially if you're not on 4A, but just because the others are cheaper and you can afford a 4A lineup without Behrman. It's hard to compare, right? On a flat 1 versus 1 basis, I do prefer Behrman over a Lawson, right? But if having a Lawson allows you to have Piastri, Leclerc, Ferrari, McLaren, which I still think will be the best team available today, then obviously I prefer Lawson, right? I wouldn't have Behrman unless I like had to have, you know. But in this sort of lineup, I think Behrman is better, which is why I'm buying Behrman and not Lawson, you know? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I feel like I'm not completely out of base. Norris, Verstappen, or Piastri? If you could only pick one, pick Piastri. Just because of price and consistency. Like, I'm not selling Norris to Verstappen this week. Yes, I believe Behrman scored points here last week. Or last year in the when he was subbed in for the Haas. But he only scored points because Checo and Sainz crashed, and he gained 2 positions from that. Which, granted, that was his second ever race in F1 after subbing in last minute for Behrman, what's his face, Magnussen. But I'm not scared of having Behrman. I think Behrman is a good pick. I'm getting bitrate warnings on my stream. Is everything fine with the stream? If it's lagging, let me know, because I'm getting warnings from YouTube. What do you think about Gasly and Colapinto? Colapinto's pretty decent at this track. Tools show decent points for them. I don't hate them. If I wasn't buying Behrman, I was gonna buy probably Gasly, but I just don't think it's really worth it. Again, I'd be fine to have them if it meant I could have a 4A. Again, let me show you why I'm kind of pissed. Literally one result going my way over the course of the entire season. This is my team I have, right? I have 2 free transfers. I don't know if you can see that on stream, but I have 2 free transfers. Yes, you can. So I have 2 free transfers. And if I had 0.2 more million, I could take a -10 and get the 4A this week. Look at this. 4.3 million in the bank. Now, granted, of course I could do this with Hamilton. Oh no, never mind. I lied. Hamilton is 0.1. Yeah, I can't even do it with Hamilton. I could do it with Russell, but that's not as fun. So I'm literally 0.1 or 0.2 million away from being able to afford this. What's my current rank? 3,000 something? 3,500? Does anyone remember? I don't, actually. It's been too long since I looked at it. 3,565 is my rank. which is pretty good. I mean, I'll take it. Top 100 in Sweden. I'll take it. I am 8th in the Content Creator League. Fraser, thank you so much for the membership, man. Not trusting the Sims at all. I can see why. Where is mine, actually? Oh, this is a thing, huh? Street Race Showdown? I have not seen this. I didn't even know this was a thing until now. Well, if you want to win a Red Bull helmet, I suppose you can try and join this and try and win it, but it's going to be difficult with people having chips remaining. I'm 111th in my own league. There's 110 of you that are better than me. And we have 197 in the chat, so I'll say like... most of you in chat are better than me. If all of you are here, which I doubt, but you know. These are some pretty high numbers right here, I will say. What's this? 3,859? What's that on the global? Uh, 3,008. There we go. 20th. So 20th in the world is in my league. That's pretty cool. P20. Hold up. Alright, I'm back. Would I go with Gasly or Colapinto? I would pick Gasly. Sure, Colapinto looks okay on this track, but I don't trust him to keep it out of the wall. I'm sorry. And yes, would I go with Gasly or Colapinto? Yes, to afford 4A I would go. I don't think I personally would do both, but one of them I would accept. Is it worth using 3 free transfers to go for Alonso, Bortoleto, and Sainz to Behrman, Hadjar, Lawson? Do you need to do all 3, or could you keep like Bortoleto and not get Lawson? I would like to, if I was in your boat, I would like to save a transfer for next week. P10 in my league, just noticed now. Congratulations. If you had a missing 0.2 budget, who or more, who would you go for between Gasly, Colapinto, Sainz, Lawson? I mean, I would prefer to go for Lawson or Sainz, I think, but between Gasly and Colapinto, I would pick Gasly. I have 133.3, so is a 4A mandated for me. If you can get to it for free, yes, I think so. I don't think there's a reason to wait. I am at 131.9. So if you're above me by more than 0.2, I do think you should try and get to 4A. If you have to take like a minus 20 for it, obviously don't. But if you have wildcard, I mean, just pop it. Wildcard is a really good week. Wildcard is really good this weekend if you have good budget. I think only Fernando I need to transfer. Other than that, my team looks solid. I think mine is the same. Don't trust Bortoleto with him going off track so much in practice. If I keep Sainz and share too many assets with other guys on my team, that's fair. I mean, honestly, I have a video all about how you should play Morning Stash from NYC. Nice. I have an entire video on how to play differential, and like, you don't have to look at budget building anymore. If you want to run Sainz, you can run Sainz. He's gonna drop in price, but who cares? Like, he can get good points. So play differential if you need to catch someone. 100%. What do you think of no negative? I am very much a no negative in a sprint weekend type of guy, and I'm gonna stay that way forever, I think. Save wildcard for later. What are you saving it for? Like, unless you can get to it for free, then obviously do that, but instead, like, if you're taking a minus 10, you might as well just pop wildcards at it. because you're not really waiting for anything. What about double Haas? Sure, if you want to. Most likely to the wall is a really funny question. Maybe it is Bortoletto because of his instances in practice, but I am leaning towards Colapinto. I really need my McLaren boys to not do what they did in... Was it practice 1 or 2? I can't remember. Yesterday, at least. I need them to not papaya rules themselves into the walls. That was really funny, though. Is the sight down? I don't think so. My sight seemed fine. Over 200 people watching the streams. We need more likes. We do need more likes. Thank you so much for mentioning. But I'm like, hey, we can get 5 likes a day. That's fine. I don't really mind. Alright. Sorry for eating at the same time, but I have to because I'm so hungry. Alright, I'm going to talk to you something outside of F1 Fantasy, and then we're going to do F1 Predict, okay? Just because it's something that's happening in my life currently, and I think it's fun to talk about. So, I will talk more F1 Fantasy in a while, but it's been a while since I've been this calm about F1 Fantasy, because I feel like I know exactly what I want to do, and I'm not stressing about it, you know? Sure, I would love to Ferrari, but I'm like, I'll get it next week. I'll be a week down. I'm prepared for a red arrow. Ferrari. If Ferrari win, I'm happy as a Ferrari fan. Sad as an F1 Fantasy player. If they don't, I'm happy as an F1 Fantasy player and sad as a Ferrari fan. It's kind of like a win-win situation or a lose-lose depending on how you look at it from which angle. So I'm very much like a glass full type of guy for this week. And I feel like everything's going to be fine, and I can really lock in next week onwards and look to climb at rank. So, this is going to be super niche. I'd be very surprised if a lot of people in this chat know about it, because it's a very, very different thing, okay? How many have seen Ish's 1,000 people simulate Minecraft video? 1,000 people simulate civilization in Minecraft. Rich versus poor. That went super viral like 2 months ago. Has anyone in chat seen it? Surely someone. It got like 20 million views. Surely someone has seen it. I know it's a very different thing we're talking about right now. Celtic has seen it. So good, Mega. It is really good. Mikkel has seen it. Noah has seen it. Okay, yay. Okay, some people know what I'm talking about. Alright. The reason why I slept for 5 extra hours... The reason why I have been completely dead this week is because I'm playing in the next one. I made the cut for the next video. So I'm in the Ish's Purge video that's gonna come out in like a year or so. So I've been playing Minecraft for 2 weeks straight. It's really fun. I'm having a great time, but obviously it's US time, so I'm completely dead. But yeah, I'm in the next one, which is awesome. Like 1.2% acceptance rate, like 62k applications, and I made it in. So that's what's going on in my life right now. I have tabs of F1 Fantasy stuff, and then I have an entire thing. What platform I'm playing on? PC. So that's what's happening in my life right now. It's really, really fun. I'm having a blast. But I'm also dead, absolutely dead. Why is it competitive? Is the pay good? No, I mean, I'd pay to get in. It's just an experience, right? But why is it competitive? Because the last video went super viral and everyone wants to play in it now. So they accepted 1,300 players out of 62k applicants. They thought they would get maybe like 20k applicants at most. So it's just super competitive to get in. I made a whole ass audition and stuff. But no, I do not get paid to be in it. I'm just doing it for fun. And honestly, I would probably pay to be in it. Anyway, let's do F1 Predict. Predict the podium. Alright, I mean, it's gonna be... Do I put Leclerc up here? Do I put Leclerc up here? That's the question. Is Max gonna be here? I feel like Max is gonna be here. I'll do a cheeky Max second, huh? Pole. I'll go for Norris. Qualify the highest. I'm gonna go for Gasly. How many teams will get a car into Q3? I'm gonna go for... Ooh, there's a big jump in points between 7 and 8. What would need to happen for there to be 8, though? That seems very unlikely. I think it's gonna be double Ferrari, double McLaren, double... Yeah, you need, like, Antonelli and Tsunoda to drop out. Yeah, I think 7 is just more likely. We'll go for 7. Who will finish ahead in the race? I'm gonna go for Alonso. Fastest pit stop. I've picked Ferrari this entire year. I might as well continue doing that, even though they haven't gotten it in a while. When will safety car or VSC first be deployed within the... What is this? Oh, I've never seen a question like this before. This is so random. This is so random. What kind of F1 predict is this? Okay, am I the only one that thinks this is a bad question? Who cares? Just yes or no, or like how many? How many is better? What do you mean what lap? Ugh. This is a dumb question. I'm just gonna say this gives a lot of points between 11 and 25. Sure, it gives more points than these two. I'm just gonna pick that and hope that happens. Who was at the fastest lap time of the race? 25 points for Max Verstappen. That seems pretty good as a bet. A little cheeky bet on Max. Nah, I'm just gonna go for... Yeah. Which team will score more points this weekend? I'm gonna say Racing Bulls. I trust Hadjar. And then we will see a new winner. Piastri, Verstappen, and Hamilton have won. I'm gonna say yes, that Norris wins. There we go. That's my F1 predicts. It's basically saying if Norris wins, I get a lot of points on both games. Yeah, I agree, Fraser. FP2 sim is not great. I'm hoping there's FP3 sims, but I'm not even really looking at the sims yet. Alright. How many times do you think Russell will lap whoever's in second? My bet is 3 laps ahead. I don't get it. Surprise peeps are all in on getting Ferrari. Merc looks stronger in FP3. I think it might be Sims and just bias, Ferrari bias, and from yesterday. But I agree, Ferrari did not look fantastic. I think Ferrari can be good. It's just I'm down to stick with this until next week. Super down for that. Shinshin says, I think Sainz will DNF. He's having a stinker luck. Crashed with Perez last year. That's a good shout. Well, that is a shout. I'm hoping that doesn't happen though because I have Williams. Mac Attack is betting a Verstappen win. I can see it. I can 100% see it. Okay, wait. Let's do a poll in the YouTube chat, actually. Because I am curious what people think about it, considering how close or how far ahead Max was last time. Who wins? Can I not add more things? Are you kidding me? Can you only have 2 options in a poll? Ugh, that's so lame. We'll do it like that then. Who wins? Who wins? Lawson versus Behrman. In a vacuum, I prefer Behrman over Lawson, but if you need to have Lawson to afford 4A, I prefer Lawson. Antonelli looks faster than Russell this weekend. Yeah, but is that really gonna be the case? I don't think Ferrari have gotten pit stop points in a while. Am I wrong? I feel like that's the case. I could be incorrect. But it feels like they haven't gotten them in a while. Okay, they got it in Sandboards. Once in the last 6. Okay. I mean, overall this season they've been by far best. Like 8 times is crazy. But if you just look recently, it's not fantastic. Okay, can I just say something about pit stop points? Or not even pit stop points, but just fastest pit stop in general. What is this? Were these guys the GOATs in 2020? Or have I just dreamt it because, you know, Hamilton was so, when the car was so good? I feel like Mercedes pit stop has always been fast. What happened? What happened? Because I have this bias in my head that Mercedes is supposed to be a great pit stop team. But it was like this last year as well. They never used to be that fast, even in 2020. Okay. I honestly don't remember how they were. Maybe I just thought they were fast because they were always winning. So they didn't need to practice it. They just slam 3-second pit stops and are done with it. But I don't know. I just have this bias in my mind that I feel like they should be good at it, but they're not. I mean, over a course of a season, right? Ferrari versus Mercedes, which sort of has been the discussion for the majority of the season. This is 80 points. Just straight up free 80 points for Ferrari over Mercedes. I'm almost done with my food. Boom. Alright, let's lock in. Our German cars known to be easily and quickly fixable. That's pretty funny. 5.2 million in the bank with 1 free transfer share, switch Lawson for Ocon. Ocon is a great differential pick, I would say. Not many people have Ocon. If you're chasing someone in your mini league, those are the types of picks you need to look for. What are some other overlooked drivers? I mean, Stroll is always overlooked, I suppose, but... Is it worth -10 to switch from Albon double Aston to a premium driver plus 2 cheap? Depends on how cheap, Iman. If it's double Alpine, maybe not. But if we're talking like Sainz Lawson Bortoleto price, like Hadger to Carlos Sainz price, I think yes. What do you make of Bortoleto having so many off the tracks? It's scary, but I'm not in the position to transfer him out. I wouldn't buy Bortoleto though if you were in that position. It's one of those things where like I have him now and I can't afford to sell him. I'm not confident in owning him. It's not an asset I would go out and buy. But, you know, if you have him, I don't think it's a rush to sell him. It's unfortunate, but like if we were more, if we didn't need to use our transfer to set up future weeks and had other issues within our teams, like say we were already on a very stable 4A strategy from like 3 races ago, and we had Bortoleto, and we could just do one transfer, Bortoleto to Sainz, or Bortoleto to Lawson, or Bortoleto to one of the Alpines, and call it a day. That's probably the transfer I would do, but, you know, that's not the reality I'm in. How's Williams looking? Worth buying, set to move from triple McLaren, triple Williams to double McLaren, double Ferrari. I think double McLaren, double Ferrari is probably the best build this week, but triple McLaren can upset always. I don't think necessarily Williams is particularly good, but I don't see any other, you know, outstanding cheap constructor anyway. I think both Williams, V-Carb, Haas, maybe Aston, maybe Kick, I mean anyone but Alpine really could perform this weekend. I think it's going to be very up in the air. I'm just hoping Williams can squeak 25 to 30 points, and then cheeky Norris win, and a Piastri podium, and I'm home, right? That's what I'm hoping for. Sainz out Bortoleto in? No, I don't think you should go out and buy Bortoleto now. I think Sainz is perfectly fine to hold. I know he's going to drop in price, but like, who cares? It's end of the season. Unless you like really need to squeeze out a bit of extra funds, which I kind of need to do this week to be able to afford the 4A in Singapore. Good to run Limitless this week. I mean, if you're trying to win the Red Bull League, right? If if you're in this competition, but so yeah, what you do, you go to leagues up here, and you go to featured leagues, and you see right here, Oracle Red Bull Racing Street Showdown. It is Azerbaijan and Singapore, and whoever scores the most points wins prizes. I don't even remember what you win. Oh, here you go. You get a replica driver's race suit if you win. That's pretty cool. And then merchandise signed. And a miniature racing helmet. I mean, these prices are kind of dog. I mean, this is pretty cool, I suppose. But like a miniature helmet for 3rd place. Come on. Like, this should be 3rd place. This should be like 3rd to 10th place should get a signed merchandise. It's not like they spent a lot of money on merchandise anyway. I'm gonna go a bit of anti-capitalist here on you guys. You know, these shirts don't cost anything to manufacture, and they just need to slap it in front of a driver for them to sign. Like, I feel like they could do 3rd to 10th place wins a shirt, 2nd place wins this, and then 1st place wins like a ticket to a race. I feel like a ticket to Austria. I feel like that's not crazy. Or am I wrong? I feel like these prices are kind of mid. You know, am I real? I feel like I gain more satisfaction from getting top 1k in the world and using my chips optimally than saving them to try and have a slim chance of winning this. Or am I the only one? If it was a ticket to a race, then, you know, then it's a different thing. Or if it was like, oh, top 50 people get a shirt. I'm like, oh, I can get a shirt. You know? But it's like 3rd place gets a miniature helmet? Come on. Come on. What do you mean? You spend like some person in China or Bangladesh makes this shirt for like, it costs you $3 to make and you sell it for 110. Like, you can give out a few more. Alright, that's my anti-capitalist spiel for you for the day. You only get one of those per day. I can't turn my entire stream into a socialist manifesto. Yeah, cheap steaks, exactly. It's not like it's a billion-dollar industry or anything. Can't wait till Lego starts making the helmet sets. See, that's the sort of capitalism I like. Lego F1 helmets. I do enjoy Lego F1 helmets. FP3 Sims out. It's almost like this is all clockwork. I'm sitting here stalling for something to happen, and something happens. You love to see it. Actually love to see it. Ryther the goat, by the way. Alright. This is very zoomed in, I just realized. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Who is that? Helly! Thank you so much for the $5. Would you take a -10 to change Norris for Piastri on this race? Considering the results of the practices, I would not do that, Helly. I think it's totally fine to have Norris. You can always sell Norris for Piastri later on. It's different if you want to upgrade something else with the money you get for it. But I think Norris as a differential, because way more people have Piastri than Norris, is fine to hold. And those McLaren boys are so even. Norris was best in practice in the last 3 races, and Piastri ended up being the better pick in 2 out of 3 of them. So I don't look too much into practice between drivers of the same team. Usually when I look at practice results, I look at how the team is performing. Maybe if like it's one driver making a lot of bad mistakes, and sure, Norris had that crash in FP1 or 2, I can't remember. But in general, I would say it's not worth a -10 to do it. But it's a great question. I do, you know, if you're on a single strategy, I do generally prefer Piastri just because it allows you to have more money for other things, but... Oh, it's to add Norris. Okay. Oh, change Norris for Piastri. Okay, I got you. The answer is still no. For the same reason. Yeah. But it's a good question, but the answer is no either way. If it was for a free transfer... Maybe. Tip of the day, tip of the week is in like 35 minutes. All right, let's look at this. First of all, I need to zoom this out because we can't see what's happening. All right. They want me to take a -20 for Ferrari. McLaren. And they really like Ferrari. What is this? A -10 to get Ferrari, Leclerc, Hamilton? Are they smoking? Wait, am I on? It is FP3. Team submissions. After we do this. This feels like a gigabait. No. Hold on. $173 expected points here. There's nothing like... Okay, alright. Let's do this, but keep McLaren. Maximum of -10. I don't even want to see -20 teams, if I'm honest. Okay, obviously it wants a -10 to remove everything that's a problem. Let's keep these two. 6.5 for Behrman, 21.9 for Williams. Yeah, this is look fantastic. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, keeping Hadjar, they want to sell Bortoleto and Alonso. That's fine, but 168.5 is this team. Uh-oh. Okay, I was calm about just selling Alonso. What is all this? Okay, I mean, they're basically saying get Ferrari in. That's the thing. They're expecting Ferrari to be equal to McLaren on points. I think that's crazy. Is it that important to get Ferrari constructor in? Is it that important? Okay, let's talk about what that would look like. Okay. So for me, that would likely look like Albon, Ferrari, maybe a -10, just to get rid of Alonso. But this feels bad. It feels bad to do a -10 for this. And the reason I would take the -10 to do the Bearman switch is because I don't want the price drop, because I want to be able to upgrade this with 2 transfers, Albon and Bearman out, for Leclerc, and add a cheap driver in the next race. Ferrari Russell. Sure, but I'm still thinking a -10. Would I go for Russell above Albon here? And just go for Gasly? The problem is here that, like, how do I get Leclerc after this then? I'm not gonna have enough money. I don't gain any price increases. So I just can't get Leclerc next race. I'm actually just priced out of Leclerc if I go for this. I take a -10 and don't gain any budget. Unless I like sell Hadjar down to like a Sainz. If I still had wildcard, again, if I was a little bit more, 0.2 million richer, I would go for the team that I showed you at the start of the stream. Limit is here versus Singapore. I think it's gonna be stronger than Singapore, if I'm honest. If you get it correct, obviously, and avoid DNFs. The potential is higher in Singapore. No negative chip? No, I'm gonna save it for sprint weekends. If you still have no negative, you save it for sprint weekends. Leclerc will go down 0.3. Yeah, but will I have enough? I don't think it is enough. Hamilton or Leclerc this week? I think Leclerc always over Hamilton. They're the same price anyway. Yo, you're skipping my question? I'm getting a lot of questions. I can't see them all. I'm so sorry. I'll go and look. I apologize. Please forgive me. Why can I not see the... What? Oh, it's down here. Lol. Mo, what was your question? McLaren, Ferrari, Hadjar, Bortoleto. Leclerc, Ham, Colapinto, Sainz. I mean, you go for Leclerc over Hamilton, and then Colapinto, Sainz is whichever one you want, really. But I would prefer to have Sainz, even though it's going to drop in price. Unless you need more price. Like, unless you need more budget. You have no price on Leclerc though, because Leclerc will most likely drop 0.3 and Russell rise 0.1. I mean, you could buy Leclerc. Sure, but what's Leclerc? Can Leclerc... does Leclerc have a chance to increase? Not really, unless he like wins the race. I suppose I do have enough for it. Russell plus Hadjar, Leclerc plus Sainz, Leclerc plus Sainz. Even after Hamilton performance, yeah. Hamilton needs to perform in a race before I consider buying him over Leclerc, especially when the same. If Leclerc was 2 million more expensive, it's a different story. But considering the same price, I go for Leclerc. Lawson or Colapinto? Lawson. Keep Bortoleto or switch to Gasly if using wildcard. If you're using wildcard, I would probably take the punt on not having Bortoleto because he's so commonly owned and because he looks a bit shaky this weekend, and just go for Gasly. I think that's a decent shout. Hi Rain, I have the same team as you and I can afford 4A lineup with Sainz for Alonso. Would you do it? Yes. Is it worth swapping Norris with Leclerc to swap Mercedes to Ferrari? Yes. Is double Williams plus double Haas drivers too differential? No. It's differential, but it's not too differential. Is it this then? Which one is better, Club Mate or Gasly? I think they're very close, but I slightly prefer Gasly. Nobody considers Red Bull as a constructor, but it's not that bad usually. You need Yuki to get like P6 before that's good. Unfortunately, I don't. Sure, they can get fastest lap if Max scores points. They get points, but yeah. Writing my uni personal statement to mention F1 Fantasy and it's currently top 1500, but trying to get top 1k because that sounds better. That's really funny. Team submissions time. Should be now, but I'm still considering what tips I want to give out. We just haven't decided. Sell Aston Martin assets? I think so. Oh, this is so difficult. I wish it was easier. Do I need Ferrari that bad? Or am I just gonna say screw the Sims? I think this is crazy. No? Do we think McLaren and Ferrari will score the same points? Who actually thinks that? Show yourself. Is there anyone that thinks that Ferrari and McLaren are gonna score the same points? Okay, let's say within 10 points of each other. For this weekend, you think so? I respect it. I don't know if I agree, though. But I mean, it's only happened, what? Once this season? Literally once this season. I mean, here they were close, but once. And that's when McLaren had a bad weekend and got 40 points. The fact Lawson is predicted to score second bottom, but he's looking good. Sure, yeah, I agree. Lawson looks decent. Yeah. Listen. If you're a wild card, I do think McLaren Ferrari is the best team. And I agree with that. But for my team, I have to take a -10, and I don't even get a team that I'm particularly happy with. You know? And instead, I just get the best budget building team possible this week. Hopefully, I'm already prepared to get a red arrow. Look at Lawson in The Sims. Yeah. .6. If you can't afford Ferrari Leclerc, should you go Russell Merck? I don't think so. Maybe. It's a tough one. Slightly. It wasn't tough an hour ago. I was pretty confident in my pick. Piastri owners in the top 1k. I can show the top 500. $94.6k. 94.6%. Global 500 is 86.2, which is still very, very high. Do you think Kimi will do well despite the probable 0.6 price drop? I mean, for points, maybe. He looked decent. Looked faster than Russell, but we know that Russell can just turn it on, right? Worth it for autopilot now with Leclerc and Piastri. Piastri seems a bit shaky. I think autopiloting is fine whenever you have 2 premium drivers. You can do any race you want, really. If you think Piastri is looking shaky, then go for the autopilot play. Sims have massive DNF percentage for all drivers. Yeah, because there's almost always safety car, so that's why. I mean, that makes sense, right? It is a race where the DNFs are pretty common. All right. I'm gonna be super clear and say that I think the McLaren Ferrari team is the best, but I'm still not gonna go for it. Ferrari's a must this week. I just said that. Hey, listen, 86% of people have it. Okay, let me be differential. I am stupid. Yep. I could autopilot Salima. You're actually. Do I autopilot this week? Just to like negate the negative of not having Ferrari, that at least if Norris or someone DNFs, I can like at least gain some points back. Like just autopilot to sort of cover between Norris and Piastri. I feel like that's not that bad. I have to use autopilot at some points, and I think autopilot is like doesn't really do much as a chip anyway. Imagine Ferrari as a China weekend would be an insane differential. Yeah. What do you think of Piastri, Norris, Kimi, McLaren? Piastri, Norris, Kimi is crazy. How do you afford that? McLaren Visa. I mean, I would honestly learn Piastri, Norris, Albon over Piastri, Norris, Kimi, but oh, it's fine. Listen. As long as you post, you're allowed to post the same question like 3 or 4 times. As long as you don't like put them all on top of each other, right? And like spam it. You're allowed to repost the same question if I missed it, because I do miss questions a lot. So it's completely fine to post the same question again, because I do miss stuff. I'm very much the type of person to discuss one question for 5 minutes and then realize I haven't looked at chat for a while. Which I apologize for. And Twitch chat, I'm not ignoring you. I do see you from time to time. Let's see. Verstappen win? I can see that. I think Norris is much better than Sim show, and if you have 2x on him, you might be scoring similar with having Ferrari. I agree, Shinshin. I 100% agree. I like Norris is not scoring 25 points. Norris is scoring at least 30. Opinion on Haas this weekend? Look, I mean, they look decent, but I'm not gonna spend a transfer to change them. Is it possible to reach 3A to a 5A lineup? I maybe the super rich could maybe get to it, but I think it's gonna be very difficult. Almost impossible. And not with McLaren Ferrari. Maybe with Ferrari Mercedes. If you're running a Ferrari Mercedes, then yes. But with McLaren in there, which you want, I don't think so. One McLaren DNF and you're cooked, my guy? I know. I'm well aware. I got giga cooked when Norris DNF'd. In, wherever it was. Sandboards. If you final fix a 2x driver, does a 2x also transfer? Yes. Would you go for the Leclerc Piastri build if it means having double Alpine? Personally, no. Did you already do tier list? I did not, but I think I won't have time today because I was late to the stream. Verstappen 2x, they haven't shown their full hand. People are sleeping on this. I think that's a great shout, honestly. Great shout. I'm in a transition phase with my team right now, so I can't afford to make sort of gutsy call transfers like that at the moment. With an autopilot, which one is better, 2x Leclerc or Piastri? It doesn't matter. It's going to change to the best one anyway. So you could put it on Hadjar if you want. It's going to change it anyway to the best one. Oh, sorry. Without an autopilot. I'm stupid. Piastri. Are you streaming till the start of quali? Yes, I am. Best Aston replacement? Williams, V-Carb, Haas. Probably Williams, but it depends on budget, because obviously Williams is the most expensive. If you're in it for the budget, it's different. Is Aston a sell this weekend? Yeah, I think so. Tyler says, like the stream. I agree. Thoughts on Yuki in, Alonso out? That's the craziest transfer I've ever heard, Celtic. What is Yuki's price right now? 10 million. Oh my god. Oh, he's cheaper than Lance Stroll. Oh, how did we actually get here? How did this happen? Can someone please explain this to me? This should not happen. No. This shouldn't happen. I think it's just save a transfer for me. Pray for McLaren. But should I autopilot? Just to, you know, limit the loss slightly. Never mind, I just noticed last 4 years you could always had a crash in Baku. That is a crazy stat. Thank you for that. Behrman for science need budget? Sure. Leclerc versus Russell for Singapore, trying to think ahead. Leclerc. Okay. I'm gonna end the poll and do a new one. Very important question. I think it's a decent shout. Because like if I put the 2x on Norris and he DNFs, my season's actually just over. I can't afford that again. DNFs are terrifying here, yeah. %66% saying yes is interesting. I think I'm leaning towards that if I go for this. If I go without Ferrari, I think I'll do this. You know, get Behrman in, save a transfer, and then go autopilot between the two McLaren boys. I say that like Hadjar can't pop up with a P2 and just 45 points, but we over here in Twitch chat just vibing. Indeed. Twitch chat is a vibe. Would you consider a -20 to get Leclerc in? No. -20 is too much for me. Almost always. Piastri and Ham or Piastri and Leclerc? Such the question. Piastri Leclerc. I haven't. Sure, Hamilton looks okay in practice, but like, I need to see more from him in an actual race before I consider buying him when they're the same price. If it was 2 million between them, it's a different story. It can drop in price. Williams. Yeah. Yeah, I could. I mean, worst case, I have to just like sell Hadjar as well. Alright, sorry. I'm spacing out. I'm leaning autopilot. If you don't autopilot, will you 2x Norris? Yes. If I'm going this and going without Ferrari, I'm always 2xing Norris to try and be differential and gain points towards Ferrari users. Which are the two options for your team? I mean, it's either this or it's a variant of getting Ferrari in, which is either boom and boom, or boom and -10 for this, or boom and -10 for this. There's options. I'd sell Norris for Verstappen and autopilot. But I want to save a transfer. That's the thing, Herman. I feel like I can't take those gutsy calls at the moment because I need to be conservative with transfers. Take -10 to take Alonso out for Behrman in. I'm considering it just because I'm so close budget-wise that like minus 0.6 from Alonso actually really hurts my teams and prospect for 4A in the future. Rye on Twitch says, "Hi Rain, any thoughts on Bortoleto this weekend?" Yeah, we discussed it like an hour ago that like if you own him and you have other problems, which I do, and I have other places where I need to bring my team, I feel like it's very much a luxury transfer to transfer him out. But if I was on a wild card, or if I already had the perfect team and I'm just looking to make luxury transfers, like sideway transfers, Bortoleto seems like a good sell this week, or a good avoid. But again, for me and many others, you don't really have the luxury of selling him. Alright. Let's do team submissions and then lock in my team, shall we? Let's lock in. Let me just do this so I can open it without spoiling ish stuff. Definitely don't want to do that. Hold on, give me a second just to look at this. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Sorry, I had to look at a thing. I am back though. Let's do the team submissions. Okay. Team submissions, priority. Let's go. Sorry that we are so slow with that. I know I'm not showing it. Here we go. As always, I disable stream mode so I can see the names because I want to see who does what. Loxolotls, first up. If you want priority team submissions, either become a member or a Twitch subscriber. And then just link your account to your Discord and you should be able to see and type in these channels. If you have Prime, Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free once a month. And you should definitely use it because otherwise that money just goes to Jeff Bezos and Lord knows he does not need any more. You don't even need to give it to me. I don't mind. Give it to some other streamer. But if you have Amazon Prime, even if you're on YouTube, right? Just go to the Twitch link in the description. Either use it on me or use it on someone else. Don't care who, just use it, okay? Let's see. Pretty tough situation. 2 free transfers, no wild card. Norris to Albon, Williams to Ferrari. That's sort of exactly what I discussed, yeah. It's worth the -10 to set up the 4A by Singapore, aka doing Alonso to something like a Behrman or Alonso to like a Gasly. I think for once it might be worth using a -10 on a sideways move of a cheap driver if it's for the specific purpose of setting up a 4A in Singapore. I don't know what your budget is, I can't see it here, but it could be worth it. So I think if you want to go for the Ferrari play, sure. I'm probably just going to stick with the triple McLaren and pray. Celtic, current team, 1 transfer, Yuki for Fernando. You have Yuki? Oh, Yuki in for Fernando. I don't think I would go for Yuki. I have 3 transfers and no clue what to do. 34th and more of a workaround as I can't afford Ferrari Leclerc right now without the -10. I think Ferrari Leclerc is worth the -10. I don't think it's worth a -20, but I do think Ferrari Leclerc is worth a -10. Calendoris has a few options. It's how greedy I want to be with versus setting up for the future. It seems like it's everyone's problem today. We have option 3, 4A setup. 4A here looks good. Can you afford that's a -10, right? Go for it. I think -10 for Piastri, Leclerc, McLaren, Ferrari. I think that's a no-brainer. Honestly, I think that's a no-brainer. No driver tillis today? No, I don't think it's super necessary. And also, I was late and I'm tired. So we're not going to do a full driver tillis today. But I do think it's very even between a lot of drivers, so it's also hard to call. But I'll do like, if you post 2 drivers that you're wondering about, I'll tell you my opinion on it. But yeah, guys, I think if you can get to a team like this with a -10, I think it's worth it. I can't. That's the thing. I cannot do that. I need to take a -20, and I think that makes it not worth it. Black screen of death. What? Can you see stuff? What does CL reaction mean? I don't know. What does CL reaction mean? Champions League reaction? I don't know what you're talking about. On the Discord? Oh. It means it's these tags are that it's meta. I think that's what Celtic uses it for. So Celtic usually goes through. Celtic is a mod. He usually goes through, so that it's easier for me to see. This is like someone. The egg here is that someone's cooking. It's something crazy. So basically, if it's CL, it's like, okay, you kind of talked about it already. It's kind of meta, so I know to not spend as much time on it because I've already spent time on it over the course of the stream, right? So again, I think this team is the best this week. If you can afford it with a -10 or free transfers, I think you should go for it. Do you play FPL? I do play FPL. Quite a lot, in fact. I do some streams sometimes. I just don't have time to make full-time content for it. Fun fact, I'm actually called Rain Fantasy and not Rain F1 because I thought I would have time for like multiple fantasy game content, but turns out you don't when you also have to go to a job. But why Colapinto over Gasly in the 4A? Maybe they just prefer Colapinto and think he's going to do well. I think it's either or. I prefer Gasly, but maybe. I know some people have a very, very weird relationship with Gasly where they like don't want to buy him because every time they've done so, he's DNF'd. So I think there's a bit of spook in the head. What's the best wildcard team? I mean, Piastri, Leclerc, McLaren, Ferrari, plus any drivers if you can afford it. If not, I think it's McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri. If I'm honest, Fraser's crazy budget, 135.6. Okay, everyone post your budget so that Fraser can aura farm you because he's on 135.6. Post your budget in chat. What's your budget? What's your budget? Can anyone beat Fraser? I don't think anyone can beat Fraser. 133 is insane, Charles. Or Charles C. But well, again, 135.6 is greedy. 135.7. My God, pray me, you got him. 135.8. Team 239.9. That is a lie. You are lying to me. I don't believe you. I actually straight up don't believe you. I mean, it's definitely theoretically possible, but I just don't believe you. Very tempted to go with the Mac Mur team, as I don't trust the Sims at all, but it's a -10. Going to go with the Mac Ferrari team, but keep Lawson despite the Sim saying he's a must sell. Plus, there's only one transfer can switch to Mac Mur at Singapore. Very cool. Yeah, this team looks great. This team is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting team. Behrman Hadjar with this? Come on. This is you're not it's not fair. The rich get richer. It's actually just not fair. What will be your team? I'll show that in a second once I'm done with team submissions. Alright, we don't have infinite time. We need to get to tip of the week and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna do I'm so sorry if you're not I think Max Verstappen 2x is really cool. I wish I had the balls to go for it, but I don't. I'm gonna go to people who've posted it since I've been live, if that's okay. If I skip yours now, don't get mad. You might get featured next week. I don't have time to get to all of them. Is Rain gonna be live today? Yes. Land, this was when I was live. Someone's cooking. I like this. Piastri, Leclerc. I like this. This is good. This is good. It's a good team. It's literally the meta. As for this, should I earn more budget with Behrman or don't give a shit and go for Charles? Go for Charles. This is fine. This is really good. You have Hadjar Bertoletto. Don't worry about it. It's perfect. This team is actually literally perfect. I wish I could have this. I love this team. This is my favorite team this week. With any constellation of cheap drivers that you can afford. If it's double Alpine, I don't love it as much, but like you gotta do what you gotta do. But I don't like when you do it for like a -20. If you wildcard for it, perfect. Do it. Salima, current team transfers. 2 transfers, 130.9 million. Okay, slightly lower than what I'm at. Piastri, McLaren, Ferrari with Albon in there. A lot of money in the bank. Can go for all right, because you don't have Hadjar, right? So you go Hamilton and Colapinto. That makes sense. I mean, if you go for Hamilton Colapinto, I would go for Leclerc Colapinto instead, and you can afford that. So I think you do that. I prefer Gasly over Colapinto, but that's personal preference. You can go for anyone. What would be your team? I will show that in a second, Nico. I promise. Mine is not gonna look like this. It's gonna be my team's gonna be bad this week. I know that, but I'm not gonna take a -20, guys, and I don't think I'm taking a -10 to just run Albon. I don't feel like taking a -10 for my team to look like this. No offense to Houdini, but I don't feel like it's worth taking a -10 for me to get this minus with like a Behrman in here, you know. This team is fine though. Burned wildcard, yes, this team's not sure what's safe for opening. No, it's not time to go away from Ferrari. Albon looks good for points. With 2 free transfers, just sell Alonso for Behrman and call it a day. Stick with Sainz? Sure. Stick with Sainz. That's fine. Meta team. Meta team looks really good. You are rich, Prima. Yep. 135.7. Yep. This looks really good. Prioritas getting Albon in right now? No, it's fine. Do this. This looks good. Crixishim. McLaren, Williams, Piastri, Verstappen. This guy is crazy. It could go really well though. Though if you do this, I mean, you put the 2x on Max Verstappen surely because he's like no one has him. You gotta go. I mean, if you're doing this, you might as well put the 2x on Verstappen. You're shooting a wild shot anyway. You might as well go the entire distance. Why just go a little bit differential? Go all the way. If it goes well, it goes really well for you. You know what I mean? More meta teams, perfectly viable. I like the fact of I like the selling Alonso plans, and I think we're gonna end it there because a lot of teams look very similar. Interesting. No one has my team. I think I'm just doing this and then autopiloting to avoid any disasters and hoping that Ferrari doesn't ruin me this week. If Ferrari does well, hey, I'm a Ferrari fan. I'm happy anyway. If Ferrari does poorly, hey, perfect for my F1 fantasy team. And I do think 57% of you think I should use my autopilot, and I do agree with 57% of you. I think autopilot is a bad chip anyway. It doesn't do anything half the time. I'm just gonna pop it, and if it does something, it does something. At least I have some points for this week. Rain is double Ferrari, Troll viable, very viable, very viable. Though I would do it. I would have double McLaren over double Ferrari if you can only pick one. Thoughts on Limitless this weekend? Use it next week. And what's the move for next week? Okay, I can show you. So, by doing this week, I then have 3 transfers in Singapore. Unless Williams have DNFs, Williams increase 0.6. Probably. Very likely. Right? Behrman, unless DNF, increases 0.6. Norris decreases. Who cares? I don't care. It's fine. Behrman and Williams increase 0.6. I then next week do Williams, Behrman, and Norris. Granted, I've increased these assets by 1.1 million total, right? Because Norris decreases 0.1 is my guess. Right? Norris is going to decrease 0.1. Behrman and Williams increase 0.6 each. So I increase in value by 1.1 million. Ferrari increases by probably at least 0.1, but probably 0.3. So that's a 0.3 budget loss. So then I'm at 0.8 million, right? 0.8 million remaining. Leclerc probably decreases. Maybe 0.3, maybe 0.1, but decreases, so it goes back up. So with these price increases, unless like I both have a Williams DNF and a Behrman DNF, like unless I get that unlucky where both Behrman and a Williams driver DNF, I can almost certainly afford this, and any cheap driver here, right? Probably Sainz, because Sainz is probably going to drop in price, right? So my team next week is 3 free transfers to Leclerc, Sainz, and Ferrari. Hadjar will increase too. Yeah, but I'm not selling Hadjar, so I can't count that budget. You know what I mean? I'm only counting the assets I sell versus the assets that I buy. So Hadjar, Bortoleto, and Piastri, McLaren increasing doesn't matter because I'm not selling them anyway. What only matters are the assets that I'm looking to sell next week. Okay, so that's the plan for next week. And literally, it's if I need double, like either double Williams DNF or one Williams DNF and the other one does really poorly, so that Williams end below, what is it? below minus 12 points total, which is like very unlikely for them to reach, right? And a Behrman DNF. If I have a Behrman DNF and a Williams DNF, maybe then I can't afford the team I want. So that would suck. If I could just avoid that, I can afford a better version of the 4A team that I wanted this week. Do not take minus points for B-tier assets. That is the general tip. I would not do it for Lawson, Simon. I would just keep Lawson. I think Lawson is super fine to hold this week. Lawson looks good this week. One time where I think it could be worth it is if like you're selling someone like a Fernando Alonso for a minus 10 to get a Behrman in, so that you don't lose budget, so you can do the same thing that I'm doing right here and prepare for next week by having enough money in the bank. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think it might actually be worth taking a minus 10 to do a B tier transfer this week, but only in the instance where you're actively transferring someone out who's guaranteed to drop in price, such as an Alonso, and specifically to avoid that you can't afford the team you want next week. At least just tell me if it's okay to run Verstappen Mercedes. Unfair, I posted it first. Yeah, but you posted it before I started the stream. Verstappen Mercedes is crazy. I appreciate the bravery. I wish you all the luck, and if it goes your way, you're a genius. But it's too risky for my taste, and I don't have wildcards, so I couldn't even go for it if I tried. But I think it's, I mean, if Mercedes outperform Ferrari and Verstappen gets a podium or wins, you're in. Why not Antonelli this week? I don't trust him yet. I need him to have a good race before I trust him again. He's not had a good race in like 6 races. The 4A lineup might struggle to increase in price in the future if you have the cheapest assets. Sure, but like if I'm sitting with Sainz, Hadjar, and Bortoletto, it's not like I'm sitting with Colapintos. I'm super fine with holding those 3 for the rest of the season for points. Same team as you, but Sainz instead of Hadjar. What would you do? Depends on your budget in the bank. Can you afford 4A next week? Is that an option? Hamilton or Leclerc? I prefer Leclerc. Alright. So that's my plan. For this week, I'm doing this. And I'm gonna pop autopilot to try and not lose rank. That's the plan. I'm gonna put the 2x on Hadjar. Let's apply chip. Autopilot. My second to last chip of the season. Boom. There we go. That's the team for the week. That is what I'm doing. That is the team. Locked in. I've decided. It's 20 minutes to go. I've decided. I need to make transfers on other teams. Not that I care that much about these teams, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, I have wildcard on this team. Sure. I don't think this team is super rich, though. This looks like a decent wild card. We'll do wild card on this because I have it. Might as well. I don't use this team anymore. And then I have the which is my I think it's my highest ranked team, or at least it's close to. Let me check here. Okay, these are my rich teams. And as of rich, it's not that much. Hello, Ray. Sorry for the late. By the way, all the best. I mean, I was also late today, so it's fine, IBG. I mean, we're already rocking this here, so 1 transfer. Might as well just do. Gasly then, because I want Gasly over Colapinto. We'll do autopilot in there here as well. No, I'll hold it for this team. And then this team has a bunch of money in the bank. 2 transfers. Can this team go for it? I don't think so. I think this team is also staying this and just doing... Who is most likely to drop, Sainz or Lawson? Pretty similar. Elio, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Much appreciated. Oh, by the way, I haven't looked at Twitch for a while. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Infamous Alejo. When are you planning to 3x, by the way? Kota or Brazil, probably. Maybe Qatar. Depends if I can ever afford Norris plus Piastri plus McLaren plus Ferrari. If I can afford that, then that's what I'm going for it. Yeah, I trust Lawson more than Sainz currently. We'll go for Oliver Bourbon here. Loxolotto, thank you so much for the Prime. Much appreciated. Oh yeah, I still have Limitless on this chip, by the way. I forgot about that. That's pretty fun. Ooh, wait, should I try and win the stupid Red Bull thing with this team? Should I? I have both 3x and Limitless. I could pop 3x on this team. I don't think this team is that highly ranked. Let me double check actually, so I don't do this with a good team. Yeah, I'm like 200. I'm like 100k. Like this team is just rich. It's not highly ranked. Yeah, let's try and win some money, okay? Or not money. Let's try and win a Red Bull shirt, okay? I'll 3x on this team just for fun. And then I'll do the Limitless next week on this team. And try and just win the Red Bull stuff. And we have to enter it into the thing. There we go. Now we're in to try and win a shirt, guys. Let's try and win a shirt. Cool. That's those transfers done. Awesome. Fantastic. All right, should we do tip of the week? We did just get some super chats. We are at 117 likes on YouTube with 300 current viewers. We can definitely get that to 150. When we get to 150 likes, I will reveal tip of the week. Let me hear your tip of the week predictions. If you can't afford Bearman, what other B-tier driver would you recommend? If you're trying to do it to afford a 4A lineup in the future, you go for like a Gasly so you don't lose value. If you don't care about value at all, you can go for like a Sainz or Lawson just to go for, you know, whoever you think is going to score more points. I think Lawson looks really good in terms of points scored this week. I don't expect him to be that great for budget rises. But if you're doing it specifically so you can afford 4A next week, then it's then do like Gasly. Gasly or Gabriel, please. I would rather buy Gasly this week than Bortoleto. Have you already locked in? I have already locked in. Where's no negative ship? Best of the remaining races? Probably Brazil. Please show your team. Sure. This is my team. I'm using autopilot this week to avoid any massive negatives since I'm going without Ferrari. I'm being a very, very brave boy. If you're new to the channel, we do this every deadline stream. My number one tip of the week, which never fails, it's always accurate. Did not time it to the music this week. That's okay. We can't get it right every time. Are we at 150 likes? 129. There's still like 200 of you that have not liked the stream. So let's get another maths 21 likes and then we'll do this stream. Did you have 2x on Hedger? Yes, because I have autopilot, so it will change automatically. I'm doing it for the troll. You are insane for not going Ferrari this weekend. I agree. I hate it, but that's where we're at. I made my choice 2 weeks ago, and I'm short 0.2 million to afford the team I want. What can you do? What do you think Limitless will be best now if you still have it? Probably Singapore or Mexico. 148 likes, 2 more people to like the stream, and we do this. What is the song? It's absolute banger. It's called Freelancer. I've stolen it from Sealand's stream. 150 likes. Okay. So, tip of the week. A few of you guessed it. I'm getting tagged in stuff. Yeah, I totally get you, Aisha. It's just that I have had issues where people have submitted early and then not been in the stream, so that's why I try and do only posted during the stream, if that makes sense. So it's not like a hard rule I've followed. It's just something that I've noticed a lot of the time. Whereas like I have to ask if someone's there and then I don't see them in the stream, and it's yeah. But usually when it comes to team submissions, I can't get to everyone anyway. So I try my best to cover as many teams as possible, if that makes sense. I apologize I didn't get to your team this week. I'll try and get to it next week. Alright. Tip of the week. It is, of course, we've had this tip of the week before, and it's not really mattered because things have changed. It's finally time. It took... How many races in are we? 18? 15? 16? What round is this? Is this 15? 16? It is... Which round is it, actually? I can't even remember. 17? Whatever. It's a bunch of races, and we're here now. I actually can't remember. I can't for my life of me remember which. It's 17. It's 17. Yeah, it is 17. Okay, thank you, Molly. Thank you. It took 17 races, but we're here. It's time to either prepare or get your 4A team if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, I highly recommend you check out the video I made on that, like how to win with a low budget. I have a team on my YouTube channel. Is the pricing model broken for constructors? Yes, in my opinion, it should not be the same for drivers and constructors. It's very stupid. So I would agree that it's broken for constructors. Would you autopilot with a 4A team? Not necessarily. You can if you want to. If you're unsure and you want to be safe from DNFs and stuff. But like, when you have a 4A team with drivers from 2 different teams, you could do it at any point. Elio, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you recommend to budget game to try and get 3x McLaren and Ferrari? I need 3 million. I don't have wildcard. Triple McLaren plus Ferrari is going to be an insane team if you can ever afford it, and I think that's going to be the best team for 3xing later on in the season. If you can, yes, but I wouldn't compromise my team for it, if that makes sense, right? Like, I would, in your boots, I would pick someone like a Behrman instead of going for someone like, oh, I think Lawson is going to get points, right? I would get someone like a Gasly who's not going to drop in price to prepare for that, if you understand. Backaway is hard, yeah. So Autopilot is super fine this week. Like, Autopilot is the worst chip in the game anyway, so you might as well burn it. Like, half of the time it does nothing. So I definitely, if you are on track for triple McLaren plus Ferrari, you play towards it, but you don't, like, buy a cheap constructor for 3 races, right? You don't sacrifice that many points, but it's definitely worth it to still go for those at the top of the budget building options in terms of cheap assets to try and get enough for it. And also same with, like, you have Foray right now. Do you have Leclerc? Leclerc is going to drop 0.3 million. Is it better than to have, like, an Albon for a race, or run someone like a Russell who might increase 0.1 and then get Leclerc when he's not going to drop 0.3? Like, small minor things like that you can alter to try and gain a bit more budget, which won't lose you too many points. Maybe that's worth it. Downgrade Sainz to Colapinto, if you want to. I wouldn't spend a transfer on it, you know, unless you have to. But yeah, this is obviously, if you have wildcard, then, you know, this whole prepare thing is kind of redundant. Paint skills on top. Thank you, Jangster. There's light rain on track. What? There's rain in Baku? You're kidding me. Worth using no negative? No. I mean, it makes autopilot better, I suppose. Alright, so we're 7 minutes from the deadline. If you missed it, this is my team. 2x on Hajar, autopilot active, no Ferrari. If Ferrari does great, I'm happy as a Ferrari fan. If Ferrari, and I'm super sad as an F1 fantasy player. If Ferrari does poorly, I'm super sad as a Ferrari fan, and I'm super happy as an F1 fantasy player, so it's like a win-win for me today. Apparently it's raining. I did not even know that was a possibility in Azerbaijan. Is there quali or race watch-along? I wish, but I am so unbelievably tired because I stayed up until 4:30 a.m. to play on Ish's 1,000 player purge experiment, and I've had work. So I've literally done an all-nighter, and I'm still up. So I've been up for about 32 hours now, with like a 30-minute nap before work. So I am about to pass out. So there's not going to be... If I... I'm going to watch qualifying right over there in my... Can you see where I'm pointing? I'm going to watch qualifying right over there in my sofa. And probably fall asleep to the sound of cars going around the track. Thank you for the good content. You're welcome. I'm happy that you enjoy it. So yeah, I'm not joking. I am 32 hours in, and I have Ish State tonight as well. In what, like 8 hours? Sweet dreams. I'm gonna dream about sweet F1 fantasy points. 10 out of 10 content. Everything for the content. Would you go for 4 team if it meant we had to bring in Antonelli? Antonelli's not an A driver. Antonelli's a B tier driver. And take a -10? No, I would not. Alright, that's going to be it for this. I'm going to end it now. There's 5 minutes to the deadline, but yeah, as I said, I'm about to pass out. I'm running super differential this week, no Ferrari. I'm just praying it goes well. It's a massive differential team. I need like Norris to clutch up. I need a McLaren 1-2 and a Ferrari P5, P6 at most type deal. We'll see how it goes. And I'll see you content on Monday. And I'll be back for Singapore and finally having the 4A lineup of my dreams. Is Final Fix good this week? If Final Fix is good this week, I won't know that until after qualifying. If Final Fix is good, I'll will I make a video about Final Fix if it's good? I don't have that much time. Okay. If there's a good Final Fix opportunity, I will tweet about it. So follow my Twitter. I will not have time to make a Final Fix video, even if there's a goated Final Fix play available. Like, even if there's the best Final Fix play of the season, I swear, I promise you, I do not have time to make a video before the race tomorrow. So I will just tweet about it, and I make like a proper tweet and not just like use FF on this person. I like make a okay, FF is good for this reason and this reason. You should do it on this person. So follow my Twitter, and I'll post there if there's a Final Fix opportunity. All right. My guy needs sleep. I am about to die. I have not been this tired in a long time. 32 hours is not for someone of my age. I could do that when I was 17. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm past 25. I cannot do 32-hour runs anymore. Alright, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna watch qualifying and probably fall asleep during. I'm gonna try and stay up during qualifying. Maybe someday we'll do like a sleep stream where you guys can annoy me with text to speech, but that's not today. That is not today. Alright, I'm going to bed. Good night, everyone. Good night. What am I saying? Like, what do you mean good night? It's 2 p.m. and I'm saying good night. That's how tired I am. I'm actually actively just saying good night. Holy. Is this your team? Yes, unfortunately, Chip Chaga Chaga. It is my team. Unfortunately, this is my team. Alright, I'm gonna end stream now. Bye bye.